This man is the fastest driver in Britain. He once set the record for the longest car chase. There was a large crowd of female fans cheering for him on the overpass, even with more than a dozen police cars and helicopters dispatched. Jason wasn't nervous at all. However, his exceptional driving skills aren't even Jason's most impressive trait. His fatal weapon is his irresistible charm that he can't contain. He took the initiative to strike up a conversation with the female employee. After just a few sentences, he had her in a great mood. The next morning he obtained her car keys and uniform. On the day of the operation, the hacker cut off the mansion's cable. As expected, David immediately called to schedule a repair with the network company. After intercepting their appointment information, Charlie called the property management to change the appointment time, saying that coincidentally, they had a technician nearby who could come for repairs right away. Annie then put on the uniform and drove the service van to the mansion for maintenance. While David was distracted, she successfully located the safe. But unexpectedly, there was a small mishap as she was leaving. David took a liking to Annie and asked her out to dinner on Friday. Even though he was her father's killer, Annie agreed because this way she would know exactly when David wasn't home. The date for the operation could be set immediately. That night, David brought a box to a closed store. He was there to exchange the gold. There were too many gold bars to exchange all at once without drawing attention, so he had to do it in batches. The store owner was the middleman, and they had already worked together several times. But this time, he actually recognized these gold bars as identical to the ones stolen from Venice a few years ago. Fearing exposure, David pulled out a gun and pointed it at the owner. However, he didn't know that the owner had a cousin in the mafia, which would soon cause big trouble for David. On Friday evening, after David left, Charlie planned to steal the gold from his mansion as planned. But as soon as they arrived at the door, they discovered that the neighbor was throwing a party. Blasting explosives now would create many eyewitnesses. With no other choice, Charlie had to cancel the plan at the last minute. To find a new opportunity, Annie had no choice but to rush over and have dinner with David. But while they were chatting, Annie accidentally said her father's catchphrase. The vigilant David immediately realized that the Annie in front of him was the old locksmith's daughter. He grabbed Annie's hand, not letting her leave. Annie knocked over a water glass to send a distress signal. Charlie's team immediately came out. Seeing the group, David was surprisingly calm and even taunted them arrogantly. Now David was definitely on guard. Sure enough, the next day, the hacker intercepted a message that David was preparing to take the money and run. To get the gold, Charlie and his team had to change their method. But how could they face 3 armored vehicles and a helicopter?